Okay, so this is part 2. We're going to talk about graphing rational functions. So when we're talking about a rational number, remember that's a fraction. So if I gave you something that looked like this looks very similar to our parent function, right? So our first step is to find our asymptotes, and remember that's your imaginary line. Where the graph gets really, really close to, but it never touches or crosses, right? So the first thing is just like before, we're going to set our denominator equal to 0. And so we're going to subtract the 3, so x equals -3. And this is your x asymptote. So at -3, we're going to put our imaginary line, right? It's a dashed line. We're going to label it x equals -3, okay? And then the second step is to look at the number on the outside, just like that parent function. Well, this is a 4, so this is my y equals -4, so this is your y asymptote. And this is very similar to like what we're talking about when we had our quadratics, right? That number that's on the outside that's added or subtracted always affects that y value. And so our y is at -4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Down here, get my pen to work here. And so we have y equals -4. Now, the step 3 is the same as before too, is we're gonna look at the top number because it's just a number, right? Just a number. And it is a positive, and so remember that's your rate of change. And that's similar to your slope, right? Like what we are used to calling a slope, but it's called a rate of change because it's not consistent like a straight line, like we have that constant rate. It is positive, so remember, we're always focusing on that origin of those the new asymptotes, right? So our x and y axes are no longer like valid here. So it is positive, so it's going to go into quadrants 1 and 3. So now let's look at our domain and range. So our domain is an interval notation, -infinity, and that's your x values, and it goes all the way to that -3, right? I'll do a highlight here. So we're over here on this part, and it's going from -infinity, and then it goes here. It hits that barrier of our asymptote, which is -3. Then we're going to do the union, and then it's going to go from -3 to positive infinity, right? So when we look at this, it hits that barrier, and then it starts back up here, and it goes to positive infinity. And then our range is going to go from -infinity, and I'll highlight that. So it goes from -infinity, and then it hits our barrier of -4, and we have a union of -4 to positive infinity. And if I look at that and I highlight it, it moves back up all the way up, okay? Okay, and so then I'm going to move this range back up here. All right, and so now what we're going to talk about is a different way of looking at these. So if I had f of x equals 3x minus 2 over x plus 4. Okay, so this one's a little different. We have in our numerator, now we have this x value. So we're going to do a little bit different. I have a shortcut way, and then I'll show you the long division way. So the first step is the same thing. We're going to set our denominator equal to 0, and solve, and find our x asymptote. So that is at -4. And remember, that's a dashed line. And we're going to label that to -4. And then the shortcut way is to find the y asymptote is to take your coefficients of your x values and divide them. So I have y equals 3 over 1, and so my y asymptote is 3. And the reason we can do this is because our variables are just the power of x. And so that works out. When our variables are like x squared over x, we would not be able to do this shortcut. So, but we will only have those in Algebra 2 for right now. So then once we do that, then step 3 is we have to find that rate of change. Again, remember that's like your slope. And so what we're going to do is we are going to take this x value that we found for the asymptote, which is -4, and we are going to plug it back in to the numerator. So we have 3x minus 2, and so we're going to replace that x with that -4. So we have -12 minus 2, so we have -14. So our slope is now a reflection, and it goes in quadrants 2 and 4. And so then we're going to look at our domain and our range. So our domain goes from -infinity, and we look at our x, that asymptote, which is -4 with the union of -4 to +infinity. And then our range is -infinity, and it goes to our asymptote of 3 with the union of 3 to +infinity.